guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Cassie, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you historical fiction books that I need in my life. When I say historical fiction books, I mean like these are the people that I want historical fiction books to be written about. This was mostly inspired by Heart of Iron, which was written by Ashley Poston, and I read this a couple of months ago and I was quite disappointed in it. It's marketed as a retelling of Anastasia but in space. The thing about this book is that it's mostly the 20th Century Fox animated movie of Anastasia that it's remaking. Literally, there were parts of it that were straight out of that movie. Whereas I would want a more historically accurate telling of Anastasia, but with a fictional aspect to it. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So obviously Anastasia is one of those characters that I would like something written about in a more fictional way. And another historical figure that I want a book written about that's not biographical is Nikola Tesla. You might think, Nikola Tesla? Really? But if you've watched Sanctuary, I know, I mentioned Sanctuary a lot in this channel, but if you've ever watched Sanctuary, Jonathan Young really brings Nikola Tesla to life. And he performed in a play about Nikola Tesla, so he knows all about Nikola Tesla. So I kind of want a book so that I can find out more about Nikola Tesla in a way that's not biographical, in a way that makes it more fun, in a way that kind of shows me what he went through, what his feud with Edison was like, and just the way that he was, you know, why did he end up falling in love with a pigeon, you know. And actually a friend of mine from back in the day of Sanctuary fandom and live journal and all that, I think she was actually penning a book about Nikola Tesla. It just made me want to learn all about Nikola Tesla in a fictional way. I would never say to anybody, oh, this is actually what happened, but it would just make it more fun. Also, I'd like to see something about the Greek deities. I know they're all of the myths and all of the retellings of the myths, but I kind of want something more. I don't want to see the story of Athena and Poseidon and Artemis and Apollo and Persephone just rehashed again and again and again. I want to see something more in lines of what happened at this certain stage. You know, when Athena was up for the patron of Athens and she and Poseidon squared up and had their thing. Yes, I know about that, but what about all of her battles and all of her other accomplishments? I just want to learn more about that. And I know we get a little bit of that from the Percy Jackson books by Rick Riordan, but at the same time, those books are not for me. They're for a much younger demographic, and they make Athena and Poseidon and Artemis and Apollo and Persephone seem very juvenile at the same time. But I want something a bit more mature and something that is, again, more fun to read than just the same myths over and over again. In the same vein, the same goes for the Egyptians, whether that's the Egyptian deities like Ra, Hathor, or Apophis, or the actual pharaohs like Tutankhamun, Nefertiti, Hatshepsut, whatever. I just want something that is fictional about something that was actually true. I don't want to be lectured at, especially with dates. I'm useless with dates. I just want something more fictional, whether that is, you know, like taking a vein of Stargate and putting it into these histories. That would be awesome, because I just finished reading a book called The Midnight Front by David Mack, and it had magic in the time of World War II, and he went through some of the pivotal moments of World War II, like D-Day, and he put a magical spin on them so that there was actually a magician on the beach at Normandy. Something like that with the likes of Tutankhamun, Nefertiti, Hatshepsut would, you know, just to have something fictional and fun. And even Invictus by Ryan Groden kind of did that as well. It had like time travelers go to these points in time and not change anything, witness, and like take a gem or something that would not be missed. That would be fun, especially, you know, like the lighthouse at Alexandria before it was burned. It makes sense in my head what I'm trying to get across here. Another figure that I would like to have a fictional book about is Pocahontas. Not necessarily the Disney version of Pocahontas. As much as I love that, that's still Disney. The true fact was that Pocahontas was 10 years old when John Smith came to America and came to meet her. And she was actually 10 years old when she told her father not to kill him. I just need something more out of that. Sometimes when you're reading straight facts, it's not as interesting as when you just add a little bit of a fiction to it. Yes, it's interesting to read, but you don't grasp it as much. That's probably me just being stupid. Please tell me you understand what I'm saying. It's one of those things. I just want something written about Pocahontas. Another character that I have never seen anything written about, really not even in non-fiction books, Amelia Earhart. That is like fiction gold. Nobody knew what happened to Amelia Earhart, and there's so many conspiracies out there that any author could just take one of those and freaking run with it. I just want a book about her and what she did or what could have possibly happened to her, and not just a conspiracy television program. That's what I'm getting at with most of this video. It's like I just want a book about all these people and not just like a conspiracy television program, informational number dump. I just want a book. And the last character, more mythological character that I would love a book written about is Finn McCool. If you don't know who Finn McCool is, he is a fictional character from Irish mythology, and he was at war with a giant in Scotland, and he threw rocks into the ocean to get across to Scotland, and that's how the Giant's Causeway was made. Really, it was made by volcanic lava. Who cares about that? The Finn McCool story sounds a lot more interesting than just hearing that it was like magma. And the story of Finn McCool also includes his wife Sive, who was a woman, but she was turned into a wolf by a sorcerer, and she wandered through Ireland and she came across Finn McCool, and he ordered his two dogs to attack her, but they wouldn't because they were also humans that were turned into animals. Whatever happens next, I can't remember from the story, but she turns back into a woman and they fall in love, get married, and have Oisin, who was the singer of the Finn McCool story. And fun fact, Sive, if you don't know, if you're not Irish, is actually spelled S-A-D-H-B-H. I'll let that sink in for a second, and yes, it is pronounced Sive. So there you have it, guys. Those are the fictional books that I would want about historical figures or mythological figures. These are books that I have not heard of or seen anywhere. If you know any books that are about any of these figures that I've mentioned, please put them in the comments down below. I would love to start reading them. Let me know if there are any historical figures or mythological figures that you want a fictional book about. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.